Hey, good morning. It's Joe. Welcome to my scripture reflection for this Sunday, January the 8th. I hope you're all doing well. Here in the Northeast, we are experiencing so far, I knock on wood as I say it, as the saying goes, a very nice winter. We're, sailing into January here. We've had some rain, but we've had some mild weather. And it's something to be thankful for, especially if you're not a snow person or a very cold weather person. And there's always something to be thankful for, isn't there, on God's earth? And that's what really it comes down to how we look at things and how we perceive things in our minds and then work them through our actions. So hopefully we continue to do that because what we are looking to do is create a more joyous and purpose-filled life for us and for those around us. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's gospel, which is from St. Matthew, chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? He saw his star at its rising, and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word, that I too may go and do him homage." And their audience with the king they set out. And behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star. And on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves, did him homage. They opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. These three gifts are spoke of often. They are in plays in churches, Christian churches. They appear and they have various levels of meaning. Today I will give you my thoughts on what gold, frankincense, and myrrh are to mean, at least for this interpretation of the gospel, and how we can integrate it into our life, because that's most important, isn't it? It's one thing to look at the scriptures, but it's another to look at it and say, how is this going to work into my life today? So let's start with gold, which is the first, which is the king of all metals, the most valuable, especially during this time. Well, it was certainly a metal, gold, fit for a king, that king being Jesus. But as we know, his kingship is about compassion. So if we are to mimic Jesus' gift of gold, we are to take compassion to a gold level in our life. And when we do, we certainly find ourselves in a much more peaceful and purpose-filled place. Frankincense is the incense that is used all over in Christian churches. Believe me, I have choked on many a dose of incense in my life, and I'm sure maybe you have too. However, there is meaning to the incense. Actually, the frankincense was meant for the priests of the time. So if you take the word priest, in Latin, priest works down to bridge builder. And they are supposed to be bridge builders between us and God, and between us and them, and between us and ourselves and others. Bridge building is what this life of faith should be all about. With all that we interact with, we are to try to build a bridge and make a positive connection. And when we do, and do our best to do so, we are certainly in a more joyous place. And then there is myrrh. Myrrh is the embalming spice that is used. And it certainly gives us the indication Jesus came to live for us and to die for us. He is the only person that was born to die for us and will be the only one. This is a commitment like no other, isn't it? And it should strengthen our bond to Jesus as we continue through this year. So what are these three gifts all about? They're about, interestingly, something I am working on very much. All of the positive C's, if you will, towards a strong and healthy life. We've talked about gold as absolutely the compassion of Jesus and his being a king. We talk about connections through the frankincense, and we talk about commitment. Real commitment is what Jesus was all about, wasn't he, in our life, by coming here to live for us and die for us. How can we do better? We can take our slice of these gifts and we put them into action in our life by being more compassionate, to looking to our connections, and yes, a stronger commitment to Jesus by keeping our priorities in order, especially in a life filled where so many distractions come up. Can we do it? Of course we can. We can do it a little bit at a time, and we find ourselves a more joyous and purpose-filled individual. My friends, my message is for you today, as it always is. I hope it was helpful. Please always share with me here on the page. I love to hear back from you, your thoughts, your comments. If you thought this was helpful for you, share it on your page for others also to maybe find some value in it. Please continue to follow me at joedwyerjr.com. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone.